Fifi, where are you from again? Where you at? Mancy?
Nancy.
Spell it M-A-N-S-E.
Nancy.
Nancy Town?
Nancy.
Where's that?
That's a make-believe town. There's no Nancy that I know of. Just,
I'm going to say
Say
Paris
something.
if they ask me.
yeah. City in France.
What are you going to do if they ask you to say something in French?
I'm going to say something nasty.
But you can talk in French, right?
Yeah,
It's fluently, right?
pretty much, unless they ask me
Yo.
something off the wall. I mean,
Still in line. Can I transfer him to the IFB?
but
Not directly, you
don't
can't
put me in a
now.
position
If
to
you get something
test
what?
me.
If you get
Hang
something
on.
what, Mike?
I'm talking to Randy here.
What'd you say to him?
I'm trying to get ABC on the
Okay,
line.
now
Oh,
your,
okay.
I don't know if you're gonna, it's a little hard for you to reach, but here's the, yeah, here's the box, here's the volume control, it's on the top of it.
Right here?
That's the volume control.
Okay, right, okay.
Okay, let's get ABC on the line.
Are they testing them, or are we just doing it right now?
Huh? I'm relaxed, buddy.
You need a massage?
Yes. French massage.
Masseuse?
Oh. I'd give you $100 for one of those. 200? 300? 5?
You're crazy. Yeah, didn't they, I thought they were going to have that one girl start coming around and giving massages.
Oh, Kelly?
Yeah. But that was the one that was there that time?
Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in
She's the one that makes that
airplane.
travel agent.
Yeah.
She's, on
She's in Alaska right now with her husband.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Ric Flair, can you hear me? This is
Mike,
Mike.
I can hear you very well. Fine, thank you.
Bonjour.
Rick, let's start with you now. A couple of, I don't know how long ago it was, Mr. Flair got together on your TV show, and Mr. Rude turned out to be exactly that, Mr. Rude. Now, is this kind of personal, or is it business?
Oh, it's very personal now. At this point, it's escalated to being very personal. I just lost. No, I couldn't. No, I can't hear him. Now I can hear him.
Hear me now?
Mike,
Yeah.
I can hear. Yes.
Okay, let's just pick that up again. Rick was living up to his name when he appeared on your TV show, and the old saying is, personal, not business, or business, not personal.
Yeah.
How personal is this between you and me?
It's very personal now from the standpoint that I had a lot of respect for Rude at one time. I still think he's an excellent wrestler, an excellent athlete, but he took a cheap shot, he took a liberty, and that's never really set well with me in my wrestling career.
Oh, he's just so, he's an animal. He's crazy.
That sums it all up, Mike. No, I'm smiling because she's real shy, as you can tell, and she's new to this country. And Rude took a liberty. We all like to think that our male ego says that we're maybe sometimes that we think we are something that we're really not. In Rude's case, he's lacking a lot of qualities that he thinks he has. Mm-hmm.
He gets in your face. There's an employee of yours behind you, a loyal employee, and he gets in her face, literally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you need to teach him a lesson. This is just not done.
I'm ready to teach him a lesson Sunday. Turn the TV on. You'll see it firsthand.
So we're looking at, what does he call his patent,
The Rude Awakening.
figure for a leg lock?
No, just versus me, period. The figure 4 leg lock is a hold that I've used for a long time, been very successful with it, but Rude will have to deal with me. It's just it's an all-out brawl. It's more than the world title. It's more than Fifi. It's just Rude and I. A lot like Whitaker and Chavez. He thinks he's ready to be where I've been for a long time. I don't think he's ready.
So you're kind of pulling that old stuff. It's not, I'm just going to use one move, I'm just going to
Everything's fair, but by beating Rude, he won't have an avenue of escape, verbally or physically.
DC, you gonna be there?
We.
She's going to be right there ringside. First time ever. I'm bringing her to the ring. That's unprecedented.
I was just gonna say, how do you think you're gonna react being there, watching, Rick here versus Rick Rude?
Well, I think I know who's going to win. I'm positive, so I don't have any problems.
Well, good luck to both of you. And, Tom, I guess.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
It's going to be glorious. Tune in, please.
Take care.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, thank you. Also, can you button your jacket there?
Yeah.
You just said it. The biggest thing, I know you're used to working with the audience.
Yeah.
You look, that audience is that camera.
Yeah.
You gotta get right into the camera, make the eye contact with the camera.
Okay.
There's my-
Haven't I been?
Not as much as you can
Okay.
usually do.
Okay.
And you can get wild. I know
Oh, yeah.
You can.
Well, he was asking me some pretty reserved questions, and I'm trying to
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But at least he knows what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
We may have to let somebody.
Okay.
Wait a minute. My earpiece fell out. How does this go in? Oh, okay.
Got it?
I think so.
Okay, we're lining up the next one with the mic in Baltimore. Another mic too, so. And then use the belt and stuff like that. So this was all.
Oh, I think it's working. It's okay.
After this, we got a 10-minute break.
No.
Then go to Baltimore.
It just fell out again. Maybe it's not. Oh, okay. No, this is fine. Okay, this is going to work. I got it.
Okay, but you hear them all right and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear that even better.
Still there.
Yeah, I can tell.
Make it a bit longer.
Yeah, I like it long. More wild. Ministry.
Like Fabio.
More of this thing.
Yes, Mike, how you doing? Fine. She is doing great, can't you tell? Well, actually, I think the match was destined to take place anyway. I think Rude was definitely recognized as one of the top 5 contenders for the World Championship. So I would have had to face Rude eventually anyway. It's unfortunate that it's coming to a head like this because I actually had a lot of respect for Rude and looked at him as being a quality athlete and a quality wrestler. But the cheap shot with me and, of course, forcing himself on Fifi obviously has made the match mean a little bit more, not only from the standpoint that the only World Heavyweight Championship is at stake, but now it's a little more personal.
Oh, oui. But of course. Oh, I am so positive he won't come after me after if Mr. Flair takes care of him.
I guess just striving to be the best at what you do. You know, I feel like my career is far from being over. I proved that point with Barry Windham. It's funny, even though I've attained the success I've attained, it's never enough. You know, it's the love of the sport, the love of professional wrestling, the love of the combative part of it, the love of the notoriety. You know, there's a lot of things that push you and make you strive to be the best at what you do. I really can't pinpoint one thing other than the fact that I really enjoy and love professional wrestling. Sure. Well, I'd have to say the Great American Bash when I wrestled Terry Funk would stand out in my mind. I came off a very serious neck injury, probably an injury that actually it followed me for a couple of years after that match, but I'm totally recovered from it now, and knock on wood, I don't have any side effects, but that I have to say was one of the most glorious nights of my wrestling career. I love Baltimore. You know, that used to be our town. We felt like we took that from the WWF. We averaged, 10, 12,000 people every time we were there, and we went down to Little Italy and ate at Sabatino's, and it really made, Baltimore made us feel like we were really part of the city. We love it. Thank you. We'll be back. Hello? Yes, Paul. I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Oh, bonjour.
Yes. I was just telling Mike Weber that I saw you were coming back from Nassau, I think. Fine, thank you. Great summer, thank you. Went by too fast. Uh-huh. Oh, it's going great, thank you. I tell his sister, Jack, every time I see her down at the Fox to send him over there, but he hasn't come by yet. Okay. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a great guy. That's right, Paul. Looking forward to it Sunday night, the 19th. Well, really, it's a vendetta. I think that Rude was in line for a title shot anyway, as I've said so many times in the past. He's probably recognized as one of the top 5 contenders in the world today. But what he did is he made it personal. I brought him out on our show called A Flair for the Gold. He forced himself on Wendy, he insulted Wendy, and then, of course, when I turned my back, he took a liberty, took a cheap shot at me, hit me with the belt, knocked me down, and gave me what he calls his finishing hold, the Rude Awakening, and then had some unkind words for both Wendy and I and walked off the set. So it didn't sit very well with me. Well, Paul, we hope so. He's a guy that's always tried to come out on top. Yeah. Oh, it sure has. As you know, I think the Turner Broadcasting does 6 a year, and they've become so popular. The audience has become so big that I think you can look to see even more of them in the future. Undoubtedly, defend her honor and mine, and the honor of being called the world champion. No, I really don't. I think that I'll have to rely on the knowledge and experience that I've attained over the years, and I'll have to rely on the fact that I think that I am still the best wrestler in the world today, and I look forward to trying to prove that each time I get in the ring. And of course, Sunday will be special because it'll be with a guy that, of course, has taken a liberty, and I think I need to teach him a lesson. It is. Thank you very much, Paul. We appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you, Paul Cameron. Woo! Woo!
Woo!
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Yeah, Greg, how are you? Fine, thank you.
Oh, B, very well.
Well, I'm a 10-time champion, so I have to set the record straight with that. The longevity, no, the longevity being the fact that, number one, I've always strived to be the very best at this sport, and number two, I've enjoyed extremely good health, which is a big part of being successful as an athlete. Well, I'm sure it's a matter of jealousy, and I don't even take those criticisms into consideration. Yeah, I've backed up everything I've ever said that I was going to do, and the success I've enjoyed is because I've worked round the clock and dedicated 120% effort to being the very best. Well, I expect a tremendous match from Rude. I think that Rude, as I've said before, was probably considered one of the top 5 contenders for the World Championship. He's enjoyed tremendous success in his career. He was due a world title shot, and I expect a great match from Rude.
Oh, to escort Monsieur Flair out to the ring?
This will be her first trip down the aisle. She's actually going to sit ringside and watch the match. Well, I'll let her answer that question.
Monsieur Flair doesn't need anything. He can take care of himself.
Well, personally, I'd hate to see that. I've never, dwelt on a person's personality or what he thought he was or wanted to be. I've always dealt with ability, and he'll have to be all ability if he's to beat me and to become the world champion. Love it. Well, ironically enough, Greg, I was in Los Angeles yesterday. I'm building my 3rd Gold's Gym now on the island of St. Martin. So actually, I'm in the fitness business pretty heavy right now. But all that stems from the fact that I still have a really strong desire to be the best professional wrestler in our sport. I have a strong desire to maintain that level of respect, that level of notoriety, and I have a tremendous desire to go out when I do decide to go out on top, and that means as a champion or in the top 5. So I'll be in wrestling as long as I feel like, to coin a phrase a lot of athletes use, as long as I feel like I haven't lost a step. That's a fact of life. All right, Greg. Thank you. Woo! Andy Hardy. I'm fine, sir. How are you? That is Fee. Woo, woo. No, we're in Atlanta right now. We're in Atlanta on our way to Houston. Well, we'll give him my best. I'm pretty sure he will be. The greatest of all time. Haven't you hated saying that over the years? Yeah. That was the original design. Didn't work out that way. No, that's not bad at all. It's worked out real well. I just keep coming back. They can't get rid of me. Well, I think she has more than a score to settle. It's just a matter of, etiquette, the American way we've offended her, and I don't mean we, I mean Rude has offended her, and she's actually going to be ringside for her first match, hoping to see me take care of Rick Rude. Mm-hmm. That happened. Well, I have a segment on the WCW show called The Flair for the Gold talk show segment. He was a guest on the show, and he came on, and actually it caught me off guard because I'd always figured Rude to be a pretty class guy. A little eccentric, but I look around that because I haven't always been perfect myself. But he came on to her strong, and she tried to blow him off, and he kissed her, and obviously she took offense to it. She slapped him, and I couldn't help but laugh. And we've all been in a situation like that where some guy thought he was getting over and was going nowhere, and so I started to laugh. I turned around and walked out to address the audience to talk about next week's show, and he took a liberty of hitting me with a belt. And then he gave me his finish hold, the Rude Awakening.
Oh, oui, of course.
Fifi, let me tell you, Andy Hardy is the greatest sportscaster in the state of Florida.
Oh.
Number one, he's supported our sport for years. She doesn't have much of a background of our sport. Yeah, no, it's the truth. You've always been very supportive. Paris friends. Yeah. Yeah. Ask her anything, please.
Of course I'm going to be there, but I'm going to leave everything up to Monsieur Flair. So I know he can take care of the job.
Do you have to say that on the air? Well, I can assure you she's the one. We just have never known each other on any more than a professional basis. When I hired her to do the show, and obviously it was because she was very attractive, but I thought that the mystique of being from France would add a lot to the show, and it did. The show was very well received, and everybody that became a guest on the show immediately fell in love with her, which is very obvious for very obvious reasons. I'd like to take her on the road. Well, I'll tell you, I think that part of the problem between Rude and myself was that Rude would like to take her on the road too. But I would love to work with her in that capacity. It's just that she's new to this country, and she really, this will be her first live wrestling match she's ever sat and attended. Will be in Houston. So, she's not that much, doesn't have that much experience around wrestling. I'd love to take her into that area, but that's a decision she'll have to make for herself. Thank you.
Merci.
Well, I've got one in Charlotte. I'm building one in Greensboro now, and I'm actually building one right now on the island of St. Martin, which is half French and half Dutch. Fat-free. Totally fat-free diet, and I exercise 2 hours every day. like religion. You have to. You know, it's to stay healthy and to compete. You know, as the years go by, it becomes more competitive. Each day you just compete with yourself to stay in the kind of shape you were in the day before. So it's takes a lot of dedication, and that always, you know, it's always hard to say, hey, I got to, you know, be here instead of there, and becomes more difficult. But it's very difficult. But I think, Andy, that I can talk with you on a personal level. You know me. You know I love the sport, and you know that when I feel like I'm not going to be in the light that I want to be in, or that I lose that step, I won't be there. So I'm dedicated, and I'm healthy, and I'm going to be as involved as long as I can be. I think it will be. Hey, Rude's a great wrestler. I can't knock Rude. I don't like him personally. I'm mad at him because of what's taken place. But I won't let that take away from the fact that I recognize he has tremendous ability. He's a tremendous wrestler. Oh, the list is endless. There's Sid Vicious, there's Big Van Vader, Sting, Steamboat. I mean, they've got a lot of great competitors here in the WCW. And, you know, I'm looking forward to our WCW events getting bigger and stronger. And I think that you're going to see our company and the sport of professional wrestling really take a turn big time in the next 12 months. Ice hockey.
Well, we sort of.
They just made a trade for a good friend of mine, Savard. Yeah. I went to high school with the son of one of the owners of the Chicago Blackhawks. So, could I? I don't know any stories with him about him like that. I just have seen Dennis play many times in Chicago Stadium, and I've been out with him a couple times at dinner. I don't have any bad stories on Dennis. Now, Phil Esposito, I can tell you some stories on. No, I can't. I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. Well, I wish them the best of luck. You know, last year they opened up, they beat the Blackhawks, I think, right? The first game? Yeah. Well, Tampa did well last year. You're building a new stadium for them, I understand, right? Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. They've got a team coming back into Charlotte this year. You know, a minor league team, but they've already sold 5,000 season tickets for that, if you can believe it, in the new remodeled Independence Coliseum. So, hockey's going to be a sport of the '90s, a yuppie sport. We'll do it.
Oh, you too.
Andy?
Oh, merci.
Woo! Give him one, Fifi.
Woo!
Thank you, Andy.
Au
Bye-bye.
revoir. Au revoir. Okay? See how you could use me? I know all these guys. Dennis Savard, I know Esposito.
My job, you
Huh?
get my pay too, right?
No, but I mean, they could have me doing this stuff with you. Hey. Sure can, Rick. How you doing? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the big match is Sunday, Houston Astrodome, Astro Arena. It's myself versus Rick Rude for the World's Heavyweight Championship, which I now have possession of, and a lot more at stake than the title. It's my honor, Fifi's honor, and of course I think to claim it to being the best wrestler alive today.
Oh yes, he attacked me on the show, and he attacked Monsieur Flair, and just really hurt my honor. So I demand for him to repay that, and Monsieur Flair is going to take care of that. Oui. Oui, oui. Pardon? Oh, ça va, ça va.
No. I can say je t'aime beaucoup. Or voulez-vous? She's taught me a few lines. No, I think it's going to be a classic. I think that as I've said many times in the past, Rude was considered one of the top 5 contenders for the world title, and the match would have taken place sooner or later anyway, but when Rude forced himself on Fifi, after being invited out as a guest on my program, and then of course hit me with the belt when my back was turned, it became very personal, and that always brings the tempo of the match up a little bit, and of course increases the animosity level, which makes the contest a lot more fierce. No, it's strictly business. Strictly business.
Oui, oui.
To this point, strictly business. Yeah.
Oui. No, no. I just take care of Monsieur Flair.
She's my, Rick, she's my personal. Yeah.
I've been there a few times. I tend to go back to Paris for my shopping.
But she likes the Galleria in Houston.
Oh,
She was there
oui.
for the first time last week. The Galleria in Dallas, right?
I love lingerie. Oui. I may stop by and check it out.
No, actually, I've never bought her anything. I pay her. I pay her enough money to let her shop for herself. Rick, you know me by reputation. I'm not going to be walking around the mall to buy Fifi something. I'll pay her. She'll walk the mall by herself. It's strictly business. Uh-huh. Rick, have you ever had Charles Barkley on that show? Then I'll be glad to do it. Hey, Rick, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and this is
Fifi.
And I'll tell you what, we're right now on the Hall of Shame. We're looking good, we're styling and profiling. We are limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun. And in my case, I'm a man that's kissed all the girls and made them cry. 10 times world champion. Yours truly, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo! On the Hall of Shame. Thank you.
Merci.
Hey,
Oh,
Fifi,
okay.
give him one, Fifi. Woo!
Woo!
All right.
Au revoir.
Hey, Dennis. This is Ron Gant. Dennis, can you hear me? This is Ron Gant. Did I hit a 2-run homer last night? Or a 1-run homer in the ninth inning? 3-run homer? Okay. And who was the guy that hit the homer before him? Yeah, Glesko, second base. What does he play? Yeah, I saw that. Rob Dibble, the bad man himself. That took place here in Atlanta, right? I walked in the Marriott just as the whole bar was going crazy. To see Gant jump off at first base, I figured he did something. Well, Dennis probably doesn't want to pick us up knowing that we're sitting here in Atlanta. Ron Gant Flair. Hey, Dennis.
Bonjour.
How you doing?
Oui.
Thank you, Dennis.
Merci.
Yeah, it sure is. It's we think that each one of the pay-per-view events that they sponsor, that TBS puts on, gets bigger, and I think that the Fall Brawl will be probably the biggest one they've ever put on. If not because of all the matches, for sure because of the match between Rude and myself, which is not only for the World Heavyweight Championship, but for the honor of myself, Fifi, and I think the claimant to being the best wrestler alive today. Oh, sure do. I knew Buddy very well prior to his, of course, his decease last year, his death last year. Yeah, actually, I never knew Buddy very well. I met Buddy after I had started wrestling. I never saw Buddy wrestle in person. He came into the Carolinas when I was active there and came out of retirement, and I actually did wrestle him one time. But prior to that, I didn't know and hadn't seen Buddy. But I did get the name. The nickname, of course, came from him. I've heard that a couple times. Exactly. She's my personal. She speaks for herself, please, Fifi. I'm sorry. I keep walking on her.
Oh, wait, no problem. Oh, I'm his personal maid. I go everywhere he goes.
I would describe her as being both. Yeah, she's very well paid. Yeah. How would you describe her, Dennis? Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. Well, thank you very much.
Merci.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, but of course I was going to let you start it out. Yeah, well, I didn't know Ted was from Cincinnati. However, we're all down here in Atlanta, and we're real proud of the Braves. And of course, last night when Dibble threw that first pitch at Gant, what can I say? They brought it back around. They've enjoyed tremendous success, and hopefully this year they'll go all the way. Well, Dennis, I appreciate that. I think that, in all fairness, Rude is probably considered one of the top 5 contenders for the title. But by attacking me when my back was turned and by taking a liberty with Fifi, which she was totally unprepared for, I'm not sure if you've seen the incident or not, you know, he made it very personal. And a lot of times in sports, it takes something personal, or it takes a little word from the coach or whatever situation might be to rekindle the fire and to get a guy going. And there are days and times, of course, in everybody's sports career when they need a little lift, a little shot in the arm. And I don't know if I look at Rude as being that major an adversary until this happened. Now I'm as tuned in and focused on Rude as I've been on any opponent that I've ever wrestled for the World Championship. I don't know, to be quite honest with you. Have you ever kissed a girl that didn't want to be kissed? Well, Dennis, I have, but I've always said I'm sorry afterwards, and Rude didn't do that, so. Thank you. Hey, we're honored that you asked us to be on the program. Well, I have to tell you, Pernell Whitaker is a very close friend of mine. Pernell trains a lot in Norfolk, Virginia. Lou Duva trains him up there at a place called Waring's Gym. I'm in the fitness business now. I was behind Pernell Whitaker 1,000%. I'm assuming you're making reference to that fight. And in our sport, there's one judge. It's the guy who's in the ring, and he either says 1, 2, 3 with his hand, or he hears the wrestler say, I submit, or he calls for a disqualification or a count out. I can assure you that he will see either Rude or myself submit, or he will see a pinfall Sunday night. And you know my career, you know me, you know my background, you know my belief in my ability to be the best when I have to be, which is at all times. And I promise you, you will see a 1, 2, 3 Sunday night. Dennis, I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Woo! Thank you, Dennis. Thank you very much.
Talking to Rich now. Okay, we're talking to a Rich. We're doing 2 Washington, D.C.s in a row, and both times we're talking to somebody named Rich.
Okay.
Making way here.
How are we doing, okay?
Excellent, right
Okay,
on time.
good.
So. Still wouldn't bother me if you showed the bell, right?
Hey, Rich. I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Oh, bonjour. Merci.
Thank you, Rich. It certainly does. I just was explaining to a sportscaster in another city that sometimes you need to rekindle that fire. You need a wise word from the coach. In this case, I got both when Rude made this a very personal issue. So the fire is rekindled and I'm ready to go. Please.
Oui, yes. Oui, I think Monsieur Rude is an animal, a beast, and I know that Monsieur Flair is going to take care of him.
Champ, when you hear that, not only do you have
for sure. I've been in the championship picture for a long time, and I've always been the focal point of the championship. I don't have anything to prove to anybody in the world of professional wrestling at this point except to myself. And Rude has made this very personal. He insulted Fifi. He's insulted me. He took a liberty when my back was turned, and as a result of that, I'm as focused on Rick Rude as I've ever been on an opponent for a world title match. I certainly do. It's right here. None whatsoever. Fifi is a very personal and close associate of mine. She works for me on a business level only. And if anything else, Fifi has made me realize, as a lot of athletes do later on in their careers, that you have to work harder, strive to be the best harder, and look more focused than ever before. And that's exactly what I am right now. Yes. Mm-hmm. Actually, in the sport of professional wrestling, I can't say that anything I want to strive for more than to be involved in a championship picture as long as I feel, and I'll coin a phrase, that I haven't lost a step. I'll never be in this sport when I'm not in the limelight or in the focal point of my career, and or in the focal point of our sport. I'll never be in this sport when I don't have the notoriety, and obviously I won't be in the sport when I'm not making the money that I want to make. So there's an equation there, but right now everything's going for me. Win, lose, or draw Sunday, I will still consider myself the best wrestler alive, and I don't look for a loss Sunday. I look for a major win, and I look for more competition starting the next day.
Oh, everything has just become so much better, so much better. He has taken care of me so good. Very, very good.
Thank you, Rich. Now, please. Well, I'll go on record of saying Ricky Steamboat is the greatest wrestler that I've ever faced. Not one of them. He is the greatest and the best wrestler I've ever wrestled. Yeah, I'd love to wrestle Steamboat again. Not because I entertain the fact that I might get beat, but because I'm the type of athlete, and I think that most athletes that really believe in themselves feel like they have to compete against the best to stay the best. And it's easy sometimes to lose that razor's edge. I've only wrestled Steamboat once in the last 2 years, and we had a tremendous match. It lasted almost 45 minutes. We were actually, I was disqualified in the match, and it was totally by accident because he went over the top rope in a move that was uncalculated. But at any rate, he's the greatest, and I would love to wrestle him again for the world title or just plain to wrestle against him. Gosh, there really isn't. You sound like you've watched wrestling a long time, Rich, and you've followed it. I have wrestled them all, from God rest his soul, Bruiser Brody, to the legendary Harley Race. And of course, I just came back from a tremendous stint in the WWF, as you know. That way, by going up there, I can actually say I've wrestled everybody that's anybody in our sport. And that was one of the reasons that I went up there. WCW is it. It's the company to be associated with. I feel like I'm the only really true world's heavyweight champion. I can say that because guys like you know I have been and done it all. And really, there's nobody out there that I want a piece of. I think there's a lot of guys out there that want a piece of me so that they can say they were there, you know, and that's great. I look forward to that, and I hope that I'm available to answer any questions and all comers. No, please, go ahead.
Your shape, the shape that you're in, and I know Fifi, that smile has hardly left her face throughout the interview. She's got a hold of those traps right now, and you're looking in great shape. You got your own gym.
Yes, yes. It's doing great. I opened the Gold's Gym in February in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm working on my second one right now in Greensboro, which will be open by the first of the year. And I'm building one right now currently in the island of St. Martin. So things are going great. I'm in the fitness business full time, and actually talking about working out, it's rededicated me. Not that I didn't work out before, but now that I'm full-time fitness business, full-time professional wrestling, I've more or less rededicated myself, and I'm in the gym more often, more frequently, and I probably train harder now than I have in the last 5 years. Thank you. Mm. Mm. For those of you out there that don't realize that I am the one, the only, the real Nature Boy Ric Flair, I am indeed that jet-flying, limousine-riding, kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing son of a gun that has been the world champion 10 times, that has beat them all, and that can still kiss all the girls and make them cry. Woo!
Woo!
What a great book, Fifi. See it last night, Friday flashbacks. We do a weekly highlight wrap-up. And if we can get a little 10-second thing or less between the two of you, Friday flashbacks on Channel 7.
Between Fifi and myself? Okay. This is the Nature Boy Ric Flair along with the gorgeous Fifi. And every Friday night we watch Friday Flashbacks. Join us. Woo!
Woo!
First time we met you, you bet your championship belt against Dexter Manley.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Super.
Hey, don't wear out today, and you know what to do with Rick. Why don't you save it?
Well, you know what I told you, though, back then? I said, I'll be around when Dexter's long gone. Now I just got to outlast Nolan Ryan. I'm going to do that, too. God bless. Take care, Rich. Thank you. I know him real well. Hey, Rich. How are you, sir? You're not with George Michael Sports Machine. Where is Big George? Where's Lou? My gosh, you mean I'm dealing with a sports machine and I'm not dealing with George or Lou? How you doing? I'll be the champ Monday morning. Go to bed at night, Sunday night, knowing that and believing in that. There's always someone that says the title's going to change hands. There's always someone that says that tomorrow we're going to have an earthquake or it's going to rain, and tomorrow we're going to have a hurricane. A lot of things are not predictable, and I'm not saying this is predictable, but if I were you, I'm not going to lose any sleep between now and Sunday, and I feel very confident that I will retain the championship. Well, I never lose respect for an opponent. I lose respect for him as a person, not as a wrestler. There's no doubt in anyone's mind, I don't think that that Rude is not one of the top 5 contenders or one of the top 5 wrestlers in our sport. The match would have taken place eventually anyway. What Rude has done is add a little fuel to the fire, and sometimes that's good. Sometimes I react better when I have something a little more personal to react around, and I'm a little more focused now probably than I would have been. Obviously, when he insulted Fifi, that lit another fire, and there's a lot more at stake than just the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, actually, Fifi's not my valet. She's never been to the ring with me ever. This will be the first time she's ever been to the ring, and she's coming because she asked me if she could attend the matches. She asked if she could sit ringside and watch the match. It is the first time that she's ever been to the ring with me, though.
Oh, I'm going to bring a beautiful smile, and I'm going to sit there and watch him take care of Monsieur Rude the way I expect it to be done.
I don't look back and think about what kind of impact. Sometimes I look forward to the next couple of years, and I wonder if when I watch football and baseball and other sports, that when they make reference to a player that was great, if I will be considered and held in that esteem. I know that I am by the true wrestling fans. I know that I am by people like yourself. I know that I am certainly by my own self. But you always wonder just where people hold you in positioning in our sport. And I don't dwell on that thought. But it is nice to know, and it will be nice to know that I will be thought of as one of the great champions and as one of the great competitors. There really isn't, Rich. It's just that I refuse to let go. I won't compete in this sport in any other light than in a championship picture. And I've used this cliche several times today. I will compete full-time until I feel like I've lost a step. And as a result of a real recent remodification, I guess is the word, in my training and that, I feel like I'm in better shape now than I was 10 years ago. I'm certainly more conscious of it. Thank you. Well, I have to tell you, I was disappointed when Wilbur Marshall left Washington. I was devastated when Reggie left Philadelphia. To be honest with you, I really don't care. I was a big Joe Gibbs fan. I was a big Wilbur Marshall fan. However, whatever happens, happens. I'm not a big fan of either team now. But I'll tell you what, if you're asking me to pick a team, I'll take Washington. They have to win. Thank you.
Au revoir. Hello.
Mike talking to you? Can you hear anybody speaking? The lights are up.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
This side over here. Yes, I sure can. Mike, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Uh-huh. Okay, but not Wrestling Hole of the Week then? Okay. Okay. Hey, Mike, it's the, like that? The. Okay. Well, Rick came out as a guest on my program, A Flair for the Gold, which is a part of our syndicated programming, and he took a liberty. He kissed Fifi. He actually physically assaulted her, and when she totally rejected him, slapped him back, I couldn't help but laugh because there was some humor in it, even though he had offended her. And I turned to address the crowd, and he took a liberty by hitting me with the belt, and then he gave me what he calls his finishing hold, the Rude Awakening. So now it's on a very personal level. As well as being for the World Championship, there's a lot of feeling and emotion in this match. Fighting not only for Fifi's honor, but my honor as well, because Fifi is employed by me, and I'm sure that when she came aboard and agreed to do the show with me, she didn't figure that anybody would be coming across the stage and forcing her to kiss them. Mike, it's time for the... All right. Okay.
Do you want a break for 3 minutes? Do you need a break?
I'm fine. Go ahead. Okay. Can I have a sip of that coffee while we're waiting for Lee? Go ahead there, Captain. Thank you, miss. I'm ready. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. It's the same thing I drove in Wild on Crook and Chase about a month ago. Same outfit. Sure is. It's the Fall Brawl coming out of Houston, Texas, and we're at the Astrodome. Rick Rude, Ravishing Rick Rude, as he likes to be called, versus the Nature Boy for the one and only World's Heavyweight Championship and the honor of Fifi. Yeah, I'm not in that match, but it's the War Games, and it's 8 wrestlers, four guys on each team, and one enters every 30 seconds, and it's a rough, wild to do. I've been in several of them myself, and I go out of my way to avoid that type of match. Well, I think everyone knows that Rude is recognized as one of the top 5 contenders for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the match would have taken place eventually anyway, but with the advent of him coming on my program, A Flair for the Gold, insulting me, taking a liberty with Fifi, and then, of course, hitting me with the belt, my back was turned as fueled the fire, and I think it's really got me more focused than I probably would have been for the match. Actually, she's not a distraction. I'll let her speak for herself.
Oh, he's wonderful, and he's the best boss I could ever have.
Go ahead, Fifi.
No, Monsieur Rude is an animal. He's a beast, and I know Monsieur Flair's going to take care of him. Well, you'll see.
No. I just wake up each day and rededicate myself. That's basically how I do it. I spend a lot of time training. I'm in the fitness business now, so that actually the two blend very well, my career and working with the fitness business, and it's just striving to be the best every day. I've told myself that when I wasn't at the focal point and when I wasn't involved in the championship scene, that I'd no longer be involved. But I feel great. I feel like I'm in better shape now than I was 10 years ago, and thank God I'm injury-free right now and still at the top of my game. It really isn't, because for me it's just striving to be the best. I'm one of these guys that I like to be in the limelight. I like the notoriety, of course, and I'd be a liar if I didn't say I like the money involved at that level. But you know, it's just it's been part of something that I really don't want to let go of. And I've been fortunate enough. A lot of athletes have injuries the further they go along in their career. Some of them get injured when they're early and then hold on and get injured again. I've been lucky. I had a major injury when I first started, and I've come back from that, and it hasn't bothered me, and I've been very lucky. Well, I'm not amazed, because I've been part of it and I've seen it grow. Actually, wrestling has been around for many years, but it took people a while to realize just how much money there was involved. And of course, when the boxing got popular on the pay-per-view level, the wrestling followed right behind. Actually, some of the biggest grossing gates of all time have been pay-per-view events for wrestling. Obviously, there have been a couple in boxing that have eclipsed them, but I'd say on an average, the pay-per-view events that are sponsored by Turner Broadcasting and Titan Sports far outdraw the boxing. So it's a tremendous source of revenue for the companies. It's a tremendous payday for the athletes, and it's a real easy way for people to be tuned into our sport and watch. And pay-per-view television is a lot of fun.
Oh, I think it's the adventure or the excitement of the whole thing. Well, not myself, but I don't know. I think anything's possible.
We'll be sold out at the Astro Arena. I think it holds 17,000. And I think we're looking for probably 1.5 million households, which would be big. Well, I enjoy it, but there was a time in my career when they didn't go nuts for me, when I was dodging bottles and eggs and beer cans, and like everybody else has had to do at one time or another that's ever been on the unpopular side of the fence. No, actually, I kind of tune the crowd out. I've got to be so focused on myself and on my opponent that if I play off to the crowd, or if I listen to the crowd, or let them influence me whatsoever, sometimes I feel like I'm being distracted. Well, not forever, but I'm going to stay with it as long as I feel like I'm an intricate part of it. You know, I don't see, I had a guy tell me one time, he said, hey, he said, you know, talking about Nolan Ryan, and I'm making reference to the Atlanta Braves before they got so successful. I'm going back 4 years ago. And he said, hey, even Nolan Ryan's got to step aside. And I said, yeah, you're right, but I don't see Roger Clemens over there in the bullpen. So when they get a few more Sam McDowells in the league, then I might think about stepping down, but I don't see too many of those coming along either. Not at all, just that we here at Turner Broadcasting, WCW, feel like it's going to be one of the greatest pay-per-view events ever put together. For myself, it's an opportunity, which one of the things that really makes me tick, to show everyone that I am still the best wrestler in our sport today. And of course, we're all going to be there to see that the honor and dignity of the lovely Fifi is upheld.
Merci.
Thank you. Lee, that's Jack McDowell, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. Thank you very much. Hey, Ken. Ken from Jacksonville. Ken? You gotta have some fun with this job. You can't take this so serious. I didn't say anything. Hey, Mike. Mike Weber. Okay. Mike.
Reed? Rick Reed?
Rick Rude's his name, Ken. Ken. No, I say the meanie's name is Rick Rude. Yeah. Hey, Ken, how are you? Can you hear me now, Ken? How you doing? Yes. Well, Ken, there's a lot more at stake than just the World Heavyweight Championship because Rude has made this a very personal issue. He came out, I think, as most of the wrestling world knows, as a guest on my program, A Flair for the Gold. He insulted me. He physically abused and insulted Fifi. And then he hit me with my belt. He gave me his finishing hold, the Rude Awakening. And he had a few cute things to say to Fifi and myself as he exited the building. So I think that Rude was probably going to be in line for a title shot anyway. He's a great wrestler, but his personality and his lifestyle needs to be altered, and I intend on doing both Sunday. Well, I'm feeling I'm getting about as strong as I can be on a network television program. It's a very serious thing to me, and Fifi has worked for me now for about a year, and she's new to this country, she's new to the ways of America, and that certainly was no introduction for her to a man that represents himself as one of the top athletes in our sport. This will be Fifi's first wrestling match. She's worked for me for a year, and she's never yet been to a live wrestling event, and she will be there as my guest, and she will sit ringside. She'll even walk to the ring with me. Do you want it from me or from Fifi? How about it, Fifi? Woo! Ken, feel free to... Woo. Hey, and you know I'm a Gator, Ken. I'm a Gator, man. I've been to that Gator Bowl 3 times for that Georgia game. Down in the landing with Ted Turner's son in that 90-foot sailboat. Right there at Hooters, driving them wild. And I can assure you Sunday night, it will be the Gators by 7 or more. Steve Spurrier, here's to you, brother. Woo! Thank you. Craigster. Craig. Come in, Craig. Hello, kid. This is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Hi, how you doing, Craig? How are you? You know, that's a good question. I want to know why you would hang around with a guy like Bobby Heenan. Yeah, really. I heard that, yeah. You, oh, really? Well, you're from Indy then. Okay. Wilbur. Yeah. Sure. Mulligan and Lanza. Sure, sure. I'm sure. Yeah, I can't think of his name either. I've seen him. Sam Menaker. Sam Menaker, yeah. Yeah, I met him way after the Indy year. I wasn't even in business myself when Indianapolis was running. It was kind of teetering off, and the Bruiser was just doing Chicago actually when I started. But yeah. Okay. No, not really. You know, we consider Houston to be a major market for us. Of course, I'm talking about Turner Broadcasting, and Houston, of course, is a real sports-oriented town. The Rockets have enjoyed success, the Astros have enjoyed success, and now the Oilers are red hot. So we hope that by bringing a championship match of this magnitude and a pay-per-view event of this magnitude, and I'm talking about Fall Brawl, to the Astro Arena on Sunday, that we are really bringing what we call championship flavor to Houston. And this is a belt that will be competed for. Well, to answer the question, Craig, quite honestly, I always thought Rude was a pretty decent guy, and I never have wrestled Rick Rude, which is unusual because I've wrestled just about every top gun in this sport. And I considered Rude to be one of the top 5 or 6 contenders for the World Championship. And actually, our producers are the ones that asked Rude to come out. And the first time he was on the show, we had a glorious time, and he even presented me with a gift. I don't know if you remember that. But the second time he came out, he you know, was abusive verbally, and then, of course, he offended Fifi. I'll let her explain that for herself, but then he took the liberty of hitting me with the belt when my back was turned. So now the issue is not just the world title, it's someone's honor, it's a prestige, and I think in Rude's mind, most of all, it's the right to be called the best wrestler alive today.
Oh, it it means to me to get my honor back. Monsieur Flair is going to go and do it for me, and Monsieur Rude is just an animal, a beast. He attacked me, and he will get what he deserves.
I've never heard Rude say that. Yeah. Well, that's what they say about Nolan Ryan. Don't you guys wish he was still in Houston? Yeah, well, they said the same thing about Joe Montana, and Joe had a pretty good game his first time out. So, you know, I think that proof is in the pudding. I'm always one of these guys that likes to let actions speak for themselves. So I think Rude, I never heard him say that myself. If he has said that, I think that was probably an attempt to maybe make me a little reckless, a little careless, maybe make me a little less focused, and that strategy won't work at all. I haven't heard that either. Yeah. Oh no, he's got me angry enough already over the events that took place on the Flair for the Gold. So, you know, what's going to happen is that Rude, in my estimation, will be one of those guys that just came along so far in his career, and then you never heard from him again. You know, and you being a sports commentator and in broadcasting, Craig, you know, you see a lot of guys. Well, this guy's going to be the next Willie Mays, or this guy's going to be the next Mickey Mantle, or this guy. But 2 years later, they're gone. They're unheard for. Still getting paid, but they're not doing anything. They're not producing. So that's kind of how I classify Rick Rude. A lot of potential, but to me, the greats and the people that stay great are the people that do what they say they're going to do and do it for a period of time. Thank you, Craig.
Merci.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks for your time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Live to Detroit.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Tim. Hey, Tim. Hello, Milwaukee. Hello, Milwaukee.
It's supposed to be Tom, said Tim.
Hello, Tom. Way to go. Write down the right name. You certainly aren't getting paid for this. Sitting there putting up postcards. Ruby Tuesday. Hello, Tom.
It'll be about a minute.
Hey, little girl in the high school sweater. Fifi,
Oui.
are your
Very, very.
Do you handle wardrobe change?
That was just recorded.
Hello, Tom? Hello, Tom? Hello, Tom? I'm fine. How are you, sir? I can hear you fine, Tom. Thank you very much. We're honored to be with you. I think we're doing 20. No, not really. Actually, I've enjoyed, 16.
Oh, right.
I'm all warmed up. That's very true. Beaver Dam. Actually, I've got to tell you, going to Wayland Academy and actually leaving Minneapolis and attending Wayland Academy really, to this day, has been a major influence on my life. It was a great school to attend, and at that point in my life, I probably needed to walk a little straighter line, and that's what Wayland did for me. Well, I don't know that I knew that I would become a professional wrestler. I liked wrestling at that time, and it was, of course, I came from Minneapolis, and in the Midwest at that time, wrestling was huge, and especially in the Milwaukee, Chicago, Minneapolis area, and I started after attending 1 year of college, actually 2 years, with Vern Gagne from Minneapolis, and of course, it just all evolved from that, but to this day, I stay in touch with some of the people I went to school with there. One of them, of course, being my former roommate, Bruce MacArthur, who is from the Wirtz family with the Blackhawks and the Bulls. And I see Bruce on a regular basis, and I've got friends in Michigan, and it's just been great. I can only say good things about Wayland and only say good things about the state of Wisconsin. Well, I'm a Vikings fan, but boy, I just have a hard time understanding some of the moves they make. You know, not being critical, and it's very easy to be a Monday morning quarterback. I'm a Vikings fan, but you know, I really liked the Vikings back when Stu Voigt and some of those guys were playing. Stu being from Madison West, and you know, I developed a lot of friendships over the years. But yeah, I'm a Vikings fan, but you know, I'm such a Lawrence Taylor fan. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina now. And saw Taylor in high school, and he's from Hampton Roads, Virginia, and saw Taylor in Carolina, and of course I've really followed his career with the Giants, and as long as he's playing with the Giants, I'm going to be a Giant fan. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think it's great. I know Reggie very well personally. I think it's a tremendous move. You know, I'm one of these guys, I hear all the criticism about Reggie maybe losing a step in that. Reggie's the greatest defensive lineman in football today, right along there with Bruce Smith, and I think it was a tremendous move. I was shocked that Philadelphia beat the Packers, but I really look for the Packers to be in the playoffs this year. And of course, when I was at Wayland, we were talking about some of the great names of the Packer organizations. I became a big Packer fan as well. Well, it's funny, you bring up names, you talk about the past and friendships. What keeps me going, the same thing that keeps a guy like Joe Montana, a guy like Nolan Ryan, a guy like Reggie White, a guy like Lawrence Taylor, guys that don't have anything to prove to anybody. Even Anthony Munoz, went down to Tampa. For what, I don't really know, because he had nothing to prove to anybody. You love the game, you love the sport, and I love professional wrestling. I obviously like the money that's involved, but it's hard to walk away from it. And I mean the sport itself, and I will continue to compete as long as I feel, using that old cliche, that I haven't lost a step. Well, it's a great feeling. I kind of coined that phrase. I started saying that about 10 years ago. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And, I've heard a lot of athletes use that. And, even Holyfield used it quite a bit here in Atlanta. And no matter what they say, they heard me say it first. I think that's because I'm older. But anyway, it's great. I mean, the notoriety and the prestige and the avenues in life that it's opened up for me have just been endless. And I've tried to ride that notoriety and tried to ride that prestige that goes along with being the champion and being, the so-called man in your sport all the way to the hilt. And it's been a great honor. I don't have any regrets. I have only great feelings. And for Turner Broadcasting, of course, when Turner bought the wrestling company that I now work for from the old established promotion in North Carolina, it really took off. The programming is a big part of their superstation, and it's just a great honor being associated on this level. The Braves doing so well, and Olympic Games coming here in '96. It's just a great honor to be involved and to be, as you say, the man in our sport.
Oh, I feel that Monsieur Rude just attacked me. He is an animal, and he just hurt my honor. And I know Monsieur Flair is going to go in and take care of him. But, Monsieur Tom, I want to make one thing clear. You said Monsieur Flair was 9-time champion. He is 10-time champion.
She's always watching out for me, Tom. Well, I don't know that I plan to do anything different than I do with anybody I wrestle. What Rude has done is he has successfully rekindled the fire that sometimes isn't there on an every night basis. But I've always looked, these pay-per-views are huge events, and I was psyched up and prepared for the match before this ever evolved. Now he's got a personal fire lit. And being involved in sports, that sometimes the personal issue between two athletes or between two teams surfaces and becomes greater than the actual event itself. So being a world championship match carries a lot of magnitude, but the personal fire that fuels both of us right now is at a peak, and I think it's going to be an all-out battle Sunday night. Yes. Yeah, President Clinton's very safe. Actually, I am a big Republican, and I'm a big George Bush fan and friend, and I campaigned with Bush here in this last election. I can't say anything bad about President Clinton. He's doing the best job that he can. He's doing what he thinks is right for our country, and like every good American, I will support whoever the president is. He may not be the man that I wanted to be there, but I support him totally, as I'm sure every good American does, because we have to stand together. And, we just hope that everything works out for all of us, especially when the tax man comes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tony, Hey, Tony, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair. I'm talking about that jet-flying, limousine-riding, kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing son of a gun, Tony, that has kissed all the girls in Milwaukee. Woo! And made them cry, Tony, 10 times I have walked that aisle. I'm talking about between Beaver Dam and Milwaukee. Got it? Woo!
Woo! Oh,
Hey, Tom, thank you very much.
merci.
I'll do it, sir. Thank you.
Au revoir.
Hey, Tom, I used to be the king of Whitefish Bay. All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Au revoir. What a nice man. Hello? Hello? Tom? Tom? Bonjour. Hello? 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 Tom? Hello? Please count to 10. Please count to 10. Hello? Hello? Oui? Oui, oui. Hello? Is Monsieur Tom? Oh, bonjour. Okay. Oui, oui. Merci.
Philly? Get this off, will you?
Je ne sais pas. I'm not sure. No.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tom. Hey, Tom. Hi, Paul. All right. No, I didn't see the paper there. What are they, a game and a half behind you guys? 5 games. Okay, okay. Because you guys won last night, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So you want me to give you a little cliche? Okay. Gotcha. You want me to do it for you now? Hey, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair coming to you live in Philadelphia, along with the gorgeous BP. Y'all know we got Fall Brawl coming up Sunday night at the Astro Arena in Houston, Texas. And for you people in Philadelphia that like it rough and tough, here's the equation. Rick Rude beating me? Impossible. He's got about as much chance of walking that aisle and beating me as the Expos do of taking out those glorious Philadelphia Phillies. How about it, John Kruk? Woo! Well, I was sure nothing was going to happen. I was sorry. You know, when he kissed her, you know, there's a misconception that he actually grabbed her in that, which he grabbed her and kissed her. You know, and to be very honest with you, I knew her feelings for Rude. I knew that she would blow Rude off, and actually I think Rude was more insulted than I was because I started laughing. I couldn't help it. I felt sorry for Fifi. I knew that she was embarrassed, and I apologized to her 1,000 times. But at that time of rejection, when she slapped him, you know, that's the ultimate in rejection. Yeah. Well, see, fellas, let me explain something to you. Since Big Reggie went across the Mississippi, I'm not really a big Philadelphia fan, so you sure you want me to give it to you? Huh? All right. I mean, I respect Randall and Seth Joyner and all the guys, but man, I hated to see Reggie leave town. Okay. Hey, how about those Philadelphia Eagles? I'm telling you, they are the most feared team in their division. They can beat the Redskins. They can beat the Cardinals. They can beat the Giants unless LT is playing. Well, maybe they can do all that. The bottom line is, since the big man, the older man, Reggie White, crossed that Mississippi, the Eagles are in trouble. Now, boys, when the nature boy comes to town, he styles and he profiles, just like Randall Cunningham. The difference is, I know I'm going to beat Rick Rude. Randall, do you know you're going to get away from LT? I don't think so. Woo! Yeah, I'm fine. I don't mind. Oh, I'm down on those guys. You know, my main man is Charles Barkley. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'll go back. Hey, I'll go back before that. I'll go back. I'll go back for that. Okay? Okay. Hey, y'all remember in Philadelphia, I'm talking about those glorious 76ers of yesteryear. I'm going back to Hal Greer. I'm going back to Will Chamberlain. And then I'm going back to the days of the doctor, of Moses Malone. I'm talking about that world championship team. And then one day, the doctor walked off. He bought into Coca-Cola. He's rich, he's famous. But then they traded holy Moses Malone. Biggest mistake ever made. The franchise went like this. Then comes along the glorious one, Charles Barkley, the immortal Charles Barkley. Not number 2 in the league behind Michael Jordan, but right beside him, the illustrious Charles Barkley. So Philadelphia, what do? You say, Charles, you go to Phoenix, and we get who? We get who? Hornacek and who? Forget it. The Philadelphia 76ers and all the wildest teams. They draft a 7'8" Sean Bradley. I got the name, fellas. I know who it is. Well, boys, if you think he's going to walk that aisle, style, and profile like Charles Barkley, you're sadly mistaken. Hey, Sean Bradley, out of sight, out of mind, baby. Woo! Well, sure. Dave Schultz? Of course. I know. Hey, guys, let me tell you something. I'm a big hockey fan, so I can jump on that right away. What? I will. Okay. One more? Okay. They say it couldn't be done. They said it would never happen. But sure enough, the Nordicus, they made the deal. The Rangers wanted him, the Blackhawks wanted him, the Kings wanted him. But Philadelphia, formerly the Broad Street Bullies, the Flyers themselves, we're talking about days of Bernie Kahn. We're talking about days of Bobby Kelly and Dave Schultz. They bring Eric Lindros to town. Number 88, the new star. He has a great year. But where do the Flyers go? Well, come on, boys. And let's face it, until Eric Lindros walks that aisle and squares up with the one and only, the real man, Bob Cope of the Detroit Red Wings. Well, Eric, you're just supposed to be an average guy skating around with an average reputation and an average season. Philadelphia, I love you, but watch out for the Blackhawks in '93. Woo! There you go. Tom, what's your partner's name? Paul? Tom and Paul. Okay. You know, Fifi and I, we travel the world wide. We style and profile. We are what you call real-life jet flying, limousine riding, high styling, high profiling type of people.
and we meet newscasters from all over the world. But when it comes to real life drama, when it comes to telling like it is in Philadelphia, you got the fellas, you got Carmen Paul, and in the eyes of the nature boy, and in the eyes of the beautiful Fifi, the fellas are number one. Woo! Right, Fifi? Woo! Okay, guys. Okay, guys. God bless.
Everybody got these bones you guys want.
You could just let that cable in the center if you'd like, the way it was. You can't see down there, so unless you just like to play with it.
Mic check.
Hey, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Whatever.
Pay attention. When you listen to the actual programming, you're not going to hear somebody, hey, are you there, type of thing.
Do I open up by saying what happened to Cecil this year?
Yeah.
Hey, he's having a good year.
Not as good as the phrase, but just go into so just pay attention to the programming because they'll be promoing right into you, and then you'll go slide live.
Hey. Fine, Bernie, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry, Wendell, how are you?
Oui. Oui. Yes.
She can speak either in French or whatever, English, whatever you want. She understands.
Do an attack. My little tummy's growling.
I love you. Ever since you told me about this, I love you even more.
I was gonna make a comment, but wait.
What?
I was gonna say something, but I'll wait.
Wendell, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Bernie? Hey, Bernie? Okay. Okay.
This one is the most important to look right at the camera. You really make that eye contact with the camera. No different than when you come in front, making that eye contact with me.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Hey, Bernie, how are you? That's the motto. Yep. Always. Who, Fifi? I'll let her answer, I'm sorry.
Oh, what, with this match? Oh, well, I was hired on by Monsieur Flair, and he's taken care of me ever since.
I think what you're making reference to is that she worked for me on a show that I have called A Flair for the Gold, Rude was a guest on the show, and he offended her. As a matter of fact, he went so far as to kiss her. She slapped him, and of course, I found a great deal of humor in that. When I turned my back on Rude, he hit me with the championship belt and then gave me what he calls the Rude Awakening, his finish hold, and walked off with some cute things to say to her and to me. So aside from it being the issue of the World Heavyweight Championship, there's also a very personal issue involved now. Actually, I came from a promoter years ago that thought I resembled and wrestled very similar to a guy by the name of Buddy Rogers, who had that handle years ago. I can't take credit for that myself, but it's a handle that I adopted and I've hung on to. It worked very well for me. I don't think I do either, but if I get him in the figure four leg lock, it'll be short and sweet. Yes. Bernie, are you talking about the Nature Boy, styling and profiling? You want me to tell Detroit, the Motor City, that on Sunday night at the Astro Arena, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, along with Fifi, are going to walk, that long, immortal aisle to defend the World's Heavyweight Championship against ravishing Rick Rude? Ladies and gentlemen, you're talking about a real life, jet flying, limousine riding, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing son of a gun that just happens to live by one motto. And it goes like this: to be the man. And such a feeler, I'm talking to you. You got to beat the man. And right now, Bob Probert, I'm talking to you too, Detroit. This is the Nature Boy. And right now, I am the man. Remember, diamonds are forever. And so is Ric Flair. How about that, Bernie? God bless. Fifi is anything I want her to be.
No. No, see.